more than soup to keep me satisfied. Give me food that's warm, bolognese all through the days. Can't wait to the mayonnaise. Give me food, that's what I want. A chicken curry, bring it here in a hurry. It's food that I want.
That's plenty.
Good afternoon and welcome to Pirate King Kitchen, the Valentine Special. As you can see, we're set up today with everything you need for a perfect Valentine's Day. Some Prosecco, nice glass, beautiful red rose, and when things get hotter later, you're going to need one of these oven mitts. Lovely towel just for dabbing up any unnecessary moisture, and of course the Pirate King Kitchen cookbook. Right, that's enough of that nonsense. On the big camera. Good afternoon everybody, how are you doing? It's bloody freezing. It is colder than a penguin's pish flap. It's -5 degrees in the kitchen today. So you're welcome. So let's see, it is Valentine's Day, so the plan here is to get something hot inside you. Yeah, maybe I want to rephrase that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this, since it's Valentine's Day. See, the thing about Valentine's Day should be for new relationships. For letting that somebody special know that you've had a wee fancy for them. If you're in a relationship, you should be doing little things every day and every week. To show that you that special person in your life, you love them very much. So this is me pouring a little glass of my wife's favourite Prosecco into her glass, which is unusual for Valentine's Day because she usually likes it served in a small bucket. So there you go, honey.
Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, you'll probably be needing that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, so less of this nonsense and let's go on to some actual cooking, shall we?
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? Who have we got with us today, Kaylee?
So I'm sure Louise and Leslie are watching. They said hello. Tommy's watching, and so is Fiona.
Fantastic. Morning or afternoon, guys. So today we're going to do a fairly quick and dirty, which is really the story of most Valentine's Days, but a quick and dirty 3-course menu. There's going to be lots of packets, lots of jars and tins, a little bit of cooking. There's still going to be some cooking, some fundamental cooking in the middle of it, but just to show you can throw something like this together quite easily. 80% of the shopping today came from Lidl, and a little 2 or 3 things came from Tesco. So again, we're not talking high price. Nothing this week from Donald's the Butchers, sorry, Kevin, but you didn't have any venison, so I had to go and swear. So that's a bit of a giveaway, one of the main courses there. We're also going to do a couple of vegetarian options to the dishes. So that was a beep. What beeped? Oh, that beeped. Oh yes, and I hope Mike's watching because we've got the beepy induction stove back today because it is so bloody cold. So let's stop talking and make a start. So we are going to do a take on avocado and prawn for our main course, for our starter. We're going to do a seared venison loin with a pork and blueberry sauce with a fondant sweet potato, and then we're going to do a take on eating mess for our dessert. So the first thing I want to do is get the potato for the fondant potato on because that takes a bit of time to cook. So we will bring our fondant potatoes over. fondant potato, you basically are looking to fry it on one side and then cook it in stock on the other side. So we're going to be using this recipe for both the vegetarian and the non-vegetarian. The sweet potatoes I've got are quite long, giggly, but you know, if they're rounder, just peel them off, take the skin off them. Did I bring my potato peeler out? No, I did not.
What do you mean, Peter?
That's okay, but just peel the skin off them. Square them up as much as possible.
There's a few subtitles coming up for some reason.
I don't know.
It's alright, Facebook puts subtitles sometimes because it doesn't understand the Scottish language. So we are going to fondant 2 potatoes today. Say 1 for a vegetarian main course and 1 for a traditional meat eating main course. So just get our pans on. So for the frying part of this, to get some colour, we are going to be doing a mixture of...
It's just not relevant.
Yeah, it's Facebook trying to work out the Scottish language. It's not particularly good at it.
It's not even saying things that you're saying just now.
Well, do you know what? If people don't want to watch it, they can turn off the subtitles. It's not going to stop the deliciousness from flowing. So, pan, a little bit of olive oil, and since it's Valentine's Day, I feel it's alright to use this word today, a knob of butter. So, olive oil, knob of butter, pinch of dried rosemary. We're just going to let that butter foam, and there goes the beating early doors. So we're going to put our sweet potatoes in there. We're going to coat them all the way round, and then let the heat focus on one side.
So Tommy said hello Pirate Crew, Karen said hello Pirate Crew, Dave Webb said morning chef, and Tosh Cameron says hi, get in my belly.
Yeah, don't look Tosh, we're using butter again today. It's Valentine's Day. Need the butter, lubrication. You know what I mean? It's science, mate, I can't fight it. So a little bit of salt in there. Again sponsored by Karen Cleland from the National Coastal Salt Association. I don't even know if that's a real thing. If it is a real thing, I apologise. Not sure if Karen's actually a member. So we're just going to let our little potatoes fry away. While we're doing that, we'll move on to our starter or entree. So for our entree, for our non-vegetarian, we've got some prawns, we've got some tomato passat, that's basically half yogurt, half milk. This glass is for a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce that I should have measured out earlier. We have some tomato bruschetta, again that is under a quid from Tesco. Avocado, some whipped soft cheese with garlic and herb, some cucumber, and some capers. Again, use what you've got. If you don't like capers, we don't have capers, don't worry about it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're almost going to make sushi, but not quite. And I'll explain that nonsense in a minute. Let's move some of these things out of the way. Check our little potatoes. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do with potatoes now, take them off the heat. This is vegetable stock. The stock cube dissolved in hot water. And we're just going to bring that up to the bowl, get all the good stuff out of the stock cube. I'm just going to let that come back up to the boil on our potatoes. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do, which is the easy part, we're going to make the sauce. So it's kind of a Mary Rose sauce, but we're not using tomato sauce and mayonnaise, but by all means do. So a couple of tablespoons of tomato passat. Just give this a quick mix so that our yogurt and milk is in there as well. Make sure we get all the yogurt because it's hanging about at the bottom of the glass. Perfect. Put these out the way. Our Worcester sauce goes in. A little pinch of salt. And I even use a spoon. Shall we? Yeah. Let's. So how's everybody's week been? Everybody had a good week? Everybody had a bad week? Another week of lockdown, but apparently we're turning the corner. Our numbers are changing, and yeah, it's all good stuff. So we're going to take some of our herb cream cheese, pop that into our sauce bowl. We will be using more of that later. Can you bring the potato peeler, please? I seem to have not brought mine in. Oh no, I have. Haha! Okay, so we're just going to incorporate. So our potatoes are now well and truly boiling. We're going to take these and move them to the oven. And what that'll do is it'll continue to poach and bake those potatoes. And this is how I try and work it out, switch this off. I hate this oven. Right, so okay, back to the sauce. So how's everybody's week been? People still enjoying being in lockdown and doing the homeschooling and the not going out. So that's one sauce for our starter done. Do I want to keep that? Yes I do. The next thing we're going to move on to is our second sauce dressing, which is ridiculously easy. So for that we need this little guy, a wadge of parsley. That's the official measurement of a wadge. So we're basically making a little hair boil here. So we've got some parsley in there. We're going to take some spring onions, cut off the breadheads, get that out of the way. So we just really want the green in the spring onion here. We want this oil to be nice and green, funnily enough. Again, a pinch of salt. We are going to take a small piece of lemon. And we'll squeeze that into our herbs. Any comments or questions?
Fiona Justice said my rolls and bacon aren't cutting it now. And Karen says, no, I'm no, lol.
Okay, and a good, a good swatch of olive oil as well in there. So, plug in our little chopper engine. We all ready for that sexy noise? Helps if I switch it on. Oh, that smells fantastic. Smell-o-vision, that's what I say. Okay, so another job done. So we'll put that little sauce. So that's went quite white. That's basically because we've emulsified the lemon juice and the oil and some of the water that's come out of the herbs. So that's absolutely fine. This little spoon gets a wash. Now, a roll and bake it would actually go down quite well at the moment. But I don't know if rolls and bacon are technically romantic. Well, there's a poll. Rolls and bacon, romantic or not? So as we move on to our non-vegetarian, I don't want to say normal because so I'm trying to think. Anybody got a better word for non-vegetarian that isn't likely to start a hate war out there? Drop it in the comments and Kale will let me know.
Oh wait, it's froze.
Which camera?
The big one.
That be
So-
still working?
The two wee ones are still working. These two.
Okay, the joys of live television. Bear with us folks for 2 minutes. We seem to have a small camera issue. The joys of working in a live television environment. Okay, so we are pretty much back, I think. Kale, do you want to just check that
Yeah.
everything is good there?
Yeah, I think we're back.
So if you can let us know in the comments if we're back.
Yeah, it's working.
Good.
I think so. Wait. Just get everybody to let us know. So obviously I can see it on my feed though on my phone, so
So we're
I think we're all right.
a little bit behind.
Yeah, we're back on.
Yep, we're back on.
Perfect. Sorry about that, guys. I'd say it is very cold and it is live, so apologies if we lost any of you there. Hopefully we've got you all back now. So I'm just taking a quarter
Yep, it's back.
of the avocado, just taking the skin off it. We want this nice thin slices. Are we on the overhead for this, Kales?
Yep.
So yeah, we really want these slices as thin as possible, and you'll understand why when I get to the next step or the next phase. So just take your time, keep your fingers out of the way, bridge, so you form your bridge with your fingers, put the knife between it, Keep your finger straight and your knife straight, and you should go nowhere near it. You get another thin slice. Same thing here. Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a sushi rolling mat, or you can use a piece of cling film. I'm actually going to use, this is one of the vac bags that I use from time to time, just to show you how to do this at home. These are the vac bags that don't like opening. So I'm just going to cut the vac bit off. Haha, check and meet Mr. Vac bag. Still doesn't want to open. So, bit of cling film or a food bag slit open. It just kind of gives a nice non-stick surface. So, it's been a cold one this week. All the snow and all that excitement. Anybody get snowed in, snowed out, or I rescued a woman at some point this week who was stuck in the snow. But that's what you get for driving silly Audis. So we have a plastic, we have a sushi mat, and what we're wanting to do here is basically build something that resembles a square. So we're just overlapping our pieces, making sure there's no discernible holes or gaps. Very quiet.
I have, yeah.
Everybody's concentrating. Shh. Just take some thin pieces off here just to.
Do you want me to sing some background music?
No thanks.
So that was, if you already heard that there, that was Tracy offering to sing, just to fill the sound hole there. So it was a hard no from us. Okay, so that's us basically got our little rectangle. What I'm going to do is just bring that plastic back over on that, and it'll go a bit squishy. And you take something, rolling pin, a jar of something. When you're not rolling this out, you're just applying a little bit of pressure just to squish it a little bit. He says hopefully. It's so cold out here, nothing's actually working the way it's meant to work. But we will soldier on and attempt to do our best. Okay, so we have our avocado base. We're going to take some of our prawns, not a lot, it is a starter after all. A few little prawns, a little bit of our sauce, which is tomato passat, yogurt and cream cheese. And just like sushi, we are going to try and roll this into a tube. A little bit of care and attention required here, not too much pressure. Famous last words. If I could actually feel my fingers, it would help. We essentially have a tube. Just pinch it at the end there, that brings everything back in. I'm just going to roll that up and leave it there for the time being. So that's our non-vegetarian option. This is our vegetarian option. Similar sort of an idea. We're going to take our cucumber and a peeler. Probably ignore the first couple of strips off there. What are you giggling at the end there? So, has anybody got any plans for Valentine's Day?
No.
That'd be a resounding no then.
Well,
A nice meal. Do you?
What?
Do you have any plans for Valentine's Day?
Well, once I have done this Sub-Zero show, my intention is to
what you're going to say?
talk to my wife while she still can, and relax and enjoy it with my family, because I say I'm a great believer, and you know, and I'm sure you'll attest to this, you don't just save the flowers for Valentine's Day. You know, if you're with somebody and you love them, you show them it every day. But if you're not with somebody, maybe you might up your game. No, if you're not with somebody, then
Oh, thanks.
Valentine's Day is a fantastic time to engage with new people. It's a great excuse to get out there and
You can't even get out there, so.
well, there's the interwebs. So for a vegetarian option, because of the temperature, I do not have a lot of faith in this one working, but I'm
Have faith.
going to be hopeful, so we'll leave that there for the time being. We're basically going to do the same thing with our cucumber. Into our cucumber we're going to put a little bit of our tomato bruschetta. Again, not a huge amount. And a little bit of our garlic and cream cheese.
Quite a lot of comments there, definitely.
So let's go to the comments while I'm gently fingering cheese into
So-
tomatoes.
Louise said I've got afternoon tea orders for myself and Leslie.
Lovely.
Sharon Webb said ignore it like we have for the past 37 years.
Okay. A
And,
little bit passive aggressive
Yeah.
there, Dave. You might want to.
and that's Sharon. And Karen said, and before you ask, there's no kosher salt involved. Lol.
Yeah, it's a bit gritty, the old kosher salt, depends what you're doing with it, I suppose. So we are just going to flip our cucumber over. Just make sure we've got our roll on. So just take your time
Yes.
and it will come out nice and even. Stainless glass works. Okay, so put that to one side. We'll finish with that for the time being, so a little bit of a tidy up. Make sure I haven't missed anything for this dish. I don't think I have. Any other comments, Keels?
No.
While I'm just
No,
sort of
that's it.
cleaning up. Outstanding. Okay. So, we'll start plating up with our two versions of our starter. I'm more optimistic about one of them than I am about the other. But, let's see where we get to. Yeah, this just hasn't worked. Okay, don't make this. This is a silly idea.
It goes so quiet.
It's just, do you know what? For this to work, you kind of have to be able to mould the avocado, and if the avocado is not for moulding, it's not for working. But
Nice idea.
we will continue. Hey, it's not over. Tracy, give up pants Murphy. You will be seduced.
Okay.
Okay. Right, we are getting there. Right, so let's start cleaning up. So we'll go for the ugly bugger first. Take a few of our prawns as a little garnish there. One of our always on standby edible flowers. We will take our herb oil. Just a lot over the top. Now this is pre-roasted red pepper, which from my experience never really wants to come out of the jar. Then when it does, it spills red wine vinegar all over your board, which is fine. Not only were we expecting that, we enjoyed it. Oh, God, it's so cold.
Still.
I know, it's still I'm
cold.
dealing with it. It's live.
Oozing.
Right, so what I want to do there is just dab off the excess. So you get these roasted red peppers, most places do them now. So you might want to keep, we've got a paper towel on standby. What I'm going to say, some come in vinegar, some come in oil. These ones are in vinegar. So we're just going to cut them nice and fine, almost making like a little pasta. Put that on top of our other bowl. Then we're going to take some of our lemon. I'm going to get my microplate. I'm terrified of this thing. And I'm just going to put some lemon zest and just salt on the plate. So we pulled that back there. That had all the potential of being a complete and utter clusterfuck. Now it's just a garbage pail fire. No, but oh, sorry, I'm a chefy type person. I can't help it. Give me a caper, I will dress a plate with it. I fucking warn you. Right, I'll get that out of my system. So that is our non-vegetarian avocado and prawn with roasted red pepper noodle thing. So if you want to get some, put that on the barbish, I'll tidy up and then we'll start plating up the second one, Kales. Get some sexies if you want.
I shall.
Okay, this should be a little bit more straightforward because this one actually worked. Another little sexy board. We'll get our noodles on. And again, nice fine slices with this. And it will give you that kind of noodle effect. So you've got your red pepper.
You're on barbish, Cam, just now.
Put that on one end of our board. With some of our capers. Lovely jubbly. We'll go to our little cucumber roulade. Again, get yourself one of these or a palette knife, because when you make small delicate things, it's always nice to move them in their entirety. We used to have one for Kaylee, we now use a no trouble. Well, you're a big grown-up person now.
Goodness sakes.
Grown-up person. Let's see your schnash.
Karen said, Peter, your patter is such a tonic, making us giggle. Hashtag Peter's patter therapy.
Pirate patter. Right. So again, a little bit of our sauce just dribbled across the top there. In a ridiculous chefy fashion. Looking for something nice flour wise. And our herb oil, which is actually starting to go solid. And a little bit of our herb oil just to dress the plate there. Again, a little bit of sea salt. So those are our two starter alternatives. So that's a tomato bruschetta and cream cheese roulade, cucumber roulade, red pepper noodles, and to the best of my knowledge, fully vegetarian compliant. So while I have a bit of a tidy up, we get some sexy photographs. I'm just going to have a quick check on my totters. Totters are looking good. So you serve either one of them to your beau, your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, significant other, non-binary neighbour. I really don't know what you're doing with your life, but please enjoy it. I'm sure you'll be off to a good start. So for our main course, we're going to do two different things. We are going to do a fillet of Scottish venison. We're also going to do, for our vegetarian friends, which camera are we on?
Big one.
We're going to do char grilled watermelon. Yes, you heard me. The madman is going to char grill a fruit. Watermelon. So watermelon steaks are reasonably... They are a thing. I've got a recipe for a smoked watermelon ham, which you peel the whole watermelon and you put it in the smoker and you leave it for a good couple of fortnights, and well, maybe 5 or 6 hours. I don't know if it tastes like ham. It tastes very good, allegedly. So what we're going to do today is take a nice thick slice of watermelon. We're we're going to season it with some interesting stuff. And then we're going to put it on the char grill. We're going to put it on the char pan. That being said, what the char pan will actually do is caramelise the sugars, heat it through, and make it all kinds of delicious. So we have a nice thick watermelon steak. We're going to get our char pan on. Kaylee got me this for Christmas. Best pan I have ever owned, or best grill pan I've ever owned. We're just going to let that heat up. To our watermelon, we are going to do a little bit of a herb rub, assuming I can get some feeling back in my fingers. So, into the daba, traditional name for Italian Indian spice box. So, into our little white bowl here, have we got overhead?
Yeah.
We're going to go smoked paprika, turmeric, ginger, a little bit of chilli, a little bit of garam masala. Okay. So the sauce that we're going to serve this with, we're going to use the same sauce for both the dishes, and it's quite a sweet sauce, so the almost curry notes of this should shine through that. So we're going to put a little bit of olive oil onto this first. Just rub that in. So what that's going to do, it's going to help our herbs to stick, and it's also going to help get heat up nice and quick and caramelise our sugars in our watermelon. So a little bit of a spice rub on our watermelon. A little bit of salt from height. So if you do it from height, you'll get a nice thin. I'm having a bit of problem with leakage today. Leakage does seem to be an issue this year on Valentine's Day Special. Maybe I'm just dealing with lots of wet things. So I've just stopped saying giggity now because everything that comes out of my mouth appears to be absolute filth. Right, so let's tidy up some of our unnecessary wetness, and then we will move on to our venison. That is getting nice and hot. So, venison fillet. As with all meats, don't cook them straight out of the fridge. I know it's very difficult to say when you're actually working in a fridge, but try not cook them straight out of the fridge. Try and get them up to room temperature. Just stops that shock on the meat to start off with. So, because venison's a very lean meat, we are going to wrap it in some Parma ham. You can wrap it in some bacon. If you don't want to use venison for this recipe, I appreciate venison is not for everybody. If you haven't tried it, try it once and try it as a fillet. Venison is to steak what duck is to chicken, so you never know unless you try it. And then you can confidently, in a loud clear voice, say, I don't like that. So what we're doing with our venison is we're just going to wrap it up in a little fire blanket, because as you can see, that very lean piece of meat, Tosh, you'll be all over that, mate. But we are going to, because we're going to cook it on high, we're just going to protect it with a little blanket of the Parma ham. Now the Parma ham has a little bit of fat in it, but also go nice and crispy. You also need to, you'll notice how it seasons that meat. Reason being, Parma ham's quite salty, and the sauce is going to be quite peppery and quite sweet. So I'm not envisaging any great seasoning going on that. Right, that's hot as fuck. So we're going to take our pineapple and we're going to put it watermelon. My brain is now starting to freeze. Watermelon, and we're going to put it spice side down. We are then going to apply some more of our spices to the unspiced side. Really, if I have to explain this, I feel it's all going wrong somewhere. Perfect. Okay.
Karen said leakage is an age thing. Karen said leakage is an age thing. Well,
Yeah, so not like, what's that? Kegel exercises or something. Right, so...
pelvic floor or pelvic floor?
Yeah. I'm sure it's Kegler? Kegler?
No.
Or some sort of thing going on. So our venison's not going to take a lot of cooking. What we are going to do is get our sauce on. So for our sauce, we are going to take half a nice big fat bulb of garlic. If your bulbs are smaller, that's fine. I personally like a larger bulb. If it's a smaller bulb, just use one. Again, we just put it in the pan. I am going to put a knob of butter in there. While all that's happening, I want to have a quick look at my watermelon, which has some lovely char marks on it. I'm just going to turn that 90 degrees to get the char marks going the other way. My butter's foaming, my garlic's doing garlicky stuff. Some port, probably about a cup of port. And we're going to let that reduce down and get all sticky and lovely. Any questions or comments? I've been talking for a while now and I know that's not everybody's cup of tea.
No.
Anybody saying anything? Anybody wanting to know anything?
No.
Pinch of salt, just to season that. So, I believe, he says, looking for a towel, I'm forgetting he's putting it over there, I believe our potatoes might be almost done. So what we have here is a lovely sticky mess of potatoes with some colour and char. What we have in that pan is a reduced down chicken stock. We also have some starch out of our potatoes. So we're going to use that as a natural thickening agent to our sauce. I can just, by feeling a hole in the potatoes, I can tell they're nice and tender. Can you move the book and the glove just to stick that down there on that spot? So our potatoes are cooked. Our sauce is bubbling away. Just going to get another check on our... Perfect. So what I'm going to do with that now is flip it over. I'm going to do this. This is the international sign for who the fuck is my towel. I'm going to take, since Valentine Day today is the day of the knob. That's just not just my wife's playful term for me, she calls me a knob all the time. A swage of butter. Today is also the day of the swage. Swage it, got a t-shirt done. We're going to take this fantastic pan. And we're going to just finish heating our watermelons through, basted in butter in our oven. So let's have a little look at our sauce. Stop beeping. Stop it. So that's nice and saucy. Lovely smell. So that's hot, and that's a technical term. Try not to linger on it. What I am going to do at this point to the sauce is add some blueberries. Blueberries have a lovely texture as well as a nice bright fruity flavour. It is traditional venison to go down to juniper, not on my watch. So a dangle of blueberries, yes, we'll call it that. I really need to start using more internationally recognised measurement times. So what I'm basically going to do is let the berries heat through in a nice basting sauce. Our potato's looking particularly happy with itself. We're going to get a little pan. Bear with me, don't look at my cupboards. Filthy animals.
Louise said instead of sweet potato, can you use normal potatoes?
You can, it'll just take a little bit longer to cook in the pan.
She said if so, any changes in cooking time or what you cook it with?
No, absolutely no difference to the technique. It'll just take longer in the...
Yeah,
So put that over there. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to cook our venison. We're going to give our palette a little clean. We're being messy today. It's not like me to be messy. Well, at least not in a cooking fashion. One thing I am going to do, which I forgot about, which is absolutely fine, we're going to take one of our giant spring onions, trim off just the hairy bit. Giggity, I can hear you laughing from here, Tommy. We're going to go just above the root, once again with all the G's, and we're going to cut this in half. I'm going to add this to the griddle pan to get some griddle marks on it. So I'll do that now. This is very hot. It's only at some sort of, I don't know, oven mitt.
do you want it? No? Okay.
No. So this goes back into the oven. And all we're doing there is we're using residual heat of the pan just to put a bit of a scald or scotch onto our spring onions. So that pan is getting nice and hot. A little bit of olive oil. The group's been very quiet today.
That is quite quiet, yeah.
So we'll take my venison. Can we see this pan on the overhead?
Just.
Okay, so we're going to put that into a scalding hot pan. So where we joined the parma ham, we're going to put that on the bottom. Because what we want to do with our first cook there, we want to seal that. And I say this won't take much cooking at all. Our sauce is ready. Our potatoes are ready. Our watermelon's watermeloning. A little bit of a tidy up. So all that's going on. When I get on this venison, you're talking maybe a couple of minutes aside. You want it nice and rare. It's a fillet. You don't want to be doing the full Tracy cook on it, because it'll be destroyed and tasteless. Which could be the title of my autobiography, Destroyed and Tasteless. So, just going to have a little look at our baking wrap. So we'll bring that into the pan here. You can see how we've got a nice crisp on that bacon. We will be flipping it over again. But I just want to cook on that other side, get some heat into it. And that's where we're at. We're just waiting on stuff cooking. Isn't this great, nice and relaxed? I'm going to go for my glass of pomegranate and orange Santervino. Cheers. This sounds like a perfect time to talk about the Pirate King shop. Yeah, I'm going to try and pimp stuff. Last few copies of the book left. Please buy it. It's a great cause. It's for a charity for a lovely little girl who lost her mum. So a few quid, all the profits from that will be going to that charity. There are oven mitts, t-shirts, Pandalorian hoodies, Pandalorian t-shirts, tea towels. They're not overly priced. They are priced to sell. They're priced to keep this free content free. I know we essentially eat all this stuff after it, but you know, there are other things to try and keep this going. So if you want to help roll out, go to the Pirate King shop and buy something. If you don't want to buy something, or you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can always just leave a couple of quid for a coffee or a rum. That's up at the top. Just donate a couple of quid to the channel and support it. The other thing I want to talk about next week, just get a bit hot. Next week is our special effects. Is our mid-season finale. So we're going to do next week, and then we're going to take a couple of weeks off. So we want to do something special for our mid-season finale. So all you guys watching, listening, all that good stuff, come up with an idea for next week. Make it something special. I'm just going to hold this on its edge. Because when you're cooking something rare, cook it top, cook it bottom, you also need to cook it on the sides. Just so you get that heat ring creeping in towards the middle. Which I appreciate is not the best television. But never mind.
Is it best to have it raw? Is it best to have it raw?
If you're eating venison fillet, yes. If you're going for haunch, you're going for any other cut. So any cut of meat, if you're having a lamb chop, you should have it rare. If you're having a cannon of lamb rare, fillet of beef rare. Different cuts of meat, by their very nature, have different structures. So fillets tend to have very little fat. So long cooking will dry them out because there's no intramuscular fat there to baste the meat as it cooks. If you're having a ribeye or a rump steak, then if there's a bit of, obviously there's fat on it, you want to cook that maybe medium because the fat's there to keep it moist. You always want to keep your meat wet. There's nothing worse than dry meat. And then when you go for the longer or the more used muscles, the tougher muscles like brisket, your normal stew cuts, shin of beef, pork shoulder, all the stuff that's getting hard work all the time, you want to cook that for a long time, possibly in some sort of medium. No, I don't mean you like to go and get Mystic Meg, wrap your beef in Mystic Meg and that could possibly be murder. But what you want to do there is, like the likes of brisket and pork shoulder, which are traditional barbecue cuts, you're cooking them at a very low temperature for a very long time. So you're encouraging all that intramuscular fat to break down.
Okay.
Or a stew, red wine, stock, whatever you're cooking it in, it helps break down the muscle fibres.
Okay.
I know it's off, that's why I'm pressing the on button. Glad you joined us. Right, so we've got that cooking away now, and just by feeling that you can tell that the texture starting to change. What I'm going to do now is, once again, as we all know, a big fan of butter. We're going to put our butter in with our venison. Remember the half a garlic we saved from earlier on? I'm going to squash that into our butter, so we've got that nice garlicky butter. Tried to get some fresh rosemary, couldn't find any. So this is dried rosemary, but a twig. And this is a good technique even for steak. Put it on the pan, put some garlic and rosemary and butter in just at the last minute. Let it all melt down and then baste your meat. Jiggle it. What I'm going to do. How are we for time, Kels?
We've done an hour.
No, we're almost finished.
Yeah. Still got dessert.
Dessert's easy.
Cheeky.
So, that is our roasted watermelon. Or roasted spiced watermelon. With a bit of pork, which is some nice char marks. We are going to go to our steak. So all that brown butter with the garlic and the rosemary, we're just going to let that flow round the side and baste it over a little parcel of venison and parma ham. Lovely. Get our sauce heated through, so I'm just going to leave that in the pan to finish off its cook and rest. We're going to start plating up. So again, this sauce was a vegetable stock that was used, some pork, and put some blueberries in it. Yeah, blueberries.
Yeah, blueberries.
Blueberries in there to well. I'm getting my berries mixed up. That watermelon is all things of tender and lovely. And so we'll start with the watermelon. Nice white plate that I have just put a big thumbprint on. Okay, wait. Don't know why I can get that. So, put our plate to the front there. Just going to lift off our watermelon. Let's cut this on a sexy angle. I'm going to take our potato, which is still very hot. Take our sauce. The first thing we're going to do is just take some of the liquid from our sauce, drizzle that around our plate. And we'll take some of our sauce and our berries, put that there.
Nice.
There we go. Now that's going to be unfeasibly hot. So that is our vegetarian spiced roasted watermelon with a pork reduction. A disobedient pan.
Push it forward a bit.
Hmm?
You push your plate forward a bit.
The horrible little mark. Yep, so that's our first dish for today, which is, as I said, char-grilled spiced watermelon, fondant potato, and a pork reduction and blueberry sauce. So I hope you enjoy that. If there's any veggies out there, it'd be nice to hear your opinion on that. As long as it's not okay. So that's lovely. So we'll start plating up our second dish. So this plate, believe it or not, is the same plate Didn't steal it from there, but this is the same plate Gordon Ramsay uses in his restaurant. So, we'll take a little fondant potato. We'll take our venison. We'll clean off our end there. And if you look at that venison, lovely and blushing in the middle. I'm going to take 3 nice slices. Again, we are going to dress our plate. Our berries. And also going to take a little bit of our butter, rosemary and garlic butter. Use that to dress our plate. And if that doesn't get you pumped, nothing will. I'm just going to eat that bit of bacon because stop me.
Looks great.
So, that's us done the starter and the main course.
I'm just going to go into the garbage.
I'm going to take some sexy photographs and I'm going to show you the quickest, easiest dessert. No preparation time, no thought, just delicious. So, black slate.
Knife and forks.
Sure.
This is gold glitter. You get this for decorating cakes. We'll put some of that on our board. This is a vanilla cream dessert pot. This is certainly not haute cuisine. Clean spoon. What we are going to do with the dessert pot is mix it hot. And we are going to drop it on the big can.
Yep.
Right in the middle.
Nice.
Of our plate. I kid you not, people are doing this in London and charging you 78 quid for it. Meringue nest, out of packet.
Wow.
Mini crunchy, out the fridge. Fresh berries from a bush.
What's that?
Mini marshmallows. What's better than mini marshmallows? Toasted mini marshmallows. Somebody might want to check on Tosh, he might have had an aneurysm.
What if we stuck to your hand?
That's pretty for me. That's for me.
No, it's not.
Wouldn't be Valentine's Day without strawberry. Mascarpone cheese. Remember how I said a couple of weeks ago when you use this, you can use it in cheesecake? Cheesecake time, motherfucker! So what I'm going to attempt to do, which is helped by a warm spoon, is a little quenelle of mascarpone cheese. Some fresh mint. A couple of edible flowers. We're the last thing. The pièce de résistance. This is killing my soul using this.
Bit of chocolate sauce.
It's not even good chocolate sauce.
Yeah.
When I got this out of Tesco, they actually had a choice between this. Yeah, I need that, that'll help me. And proper chocolate ganache. And I took this for no other reason
Because Tracy wanted it.
than I can do, as long as it's not solid.
It's ridiculous. I can't eat that.
Forget about the venison.
One little last bit of gold. Couple of edible flowers and a little bit of fresh mint.
Gosh.
And that'll get you a whole more as well. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Possibly the quickest, easiest dessert you'll ever get. Not a pan, not an ingredient, but people say that the quickest way to a woman's heart is to her stomach. That's incorrect, it's between the third and fourth rib. But for the purposes of Valentine's Day, this is your 3-course meal, starting off with a choice of roulades with herb butter and roasted red pepper noodles, followed by oven roasted, charred, spiced watermelon, sweet potato fondant with a pork reduction, and venison wrapped in prosciutto with pork reduction sauce and blueberries, and again fondant potato. So I hope there's some ideas here for Valentine's Day. If you make this for your loved one and you don't get pumped tomorrow, that's not my fault, you have not made it right. But you know, by all means, have a fantastic time tomorrow. There is so little to celebrate at the moment, even though we appear to be perhaps thinking about turning a corner. Valentine's Day is kind of one of those things that we've kind of forgotten about a little bit over the years, but maybe this year's the year that we do something a bit special. And if this helps you do something special, let us know. So just before we wind up today, quick reminder about next week. Next week, as I said, since we went all American and fancy, is our mid-season. We done 10 episodes the last time, so I'm doing 10 episodes this time. It'll be our mid-season finale. Off there for a couple of weeks, purely some real life stuff has to happen. It is bitterly cold. So hopefully 1 week and then the 2 weeks off, that'll give us, you know, it might be up to a roasting -1. You know, it gives us a little break because we've just got so much to do on a Saturday now. So stick with us. If you've enjoyed this, is the usual pitch. I should just record this little bit.
Yeah.
If you've enjoyed this, please like it. If you know somebody who would enjoy this, please share it. Like it once, share it once. I appreciate you guys who are probably still watching, are the ones that enjoy the channel the most, and I genuinely thank you for tuning in and listening to my pitch every Saturday. But long term, I'd like to grow this into something that lots of people can enjoy. So please share it with your friends. I'm going to try and eat some of this before it freezes solid. Failing that, have a fantastic Saturday. Halloween's Day, no, Valentine's Day. Halloween's one with the pumpkins and the have a fantastic day. Stay inside, stay warm, stay cozy. Cozy up to the one you live. Tomorrow, make this for your Valentine's. Get pumped early night. Can't say fairer than that. And on that bombshell, hit my music.
Hear my belly rumble, something more than bread. A nice big steak and fries to go. Listen to what I said. I need something more than soup.